BYU Sports Nation, brought to you by the BYU Store, simulcast on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Now, from Studio B, here's Spencer Linton and Jarom Jordan.
Hey, BYU Sports Nation is live, your day-to-day play-by-play in Studio B, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. Happy summer solstice of 2022. It is Tuesday, June 21st, wherever and however you're
Longest day of the year?
Great to have you with us. Indeed it is. So get out and do something until you can't see, I don't know.
Until you can't see.
Golf ball in front of you anymore or whatever you're going to be doing.
Until you can't see, period.
Right, until you can't see.
Yeah, just period.
I am Spencer Linton, teamed up with the man who has his kettle corn ready for Media Day, Jarom Jordan.
I'm not a big kettle corn guy.
No?
I like it, but it's not like one of my favorites.
Movie theater popcorn guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like dripping in butter, yeah.
Mhm.
Football Media Day Eve today. Football Media Day is tomorrow. It starts at 11 Eastern Time. State of the program. We got a 2-hour dish of BYU Sports Nation. Oh, yeah, BYU beat Utah last year. You can rewatch that. It's awesome. Same time, web chats with Jason Born Identity Shepherd on the BYU TV app. And then at 4:30 Eastern, BYU, A History of Independence. Looking back at the independent era, right? Maybe the best saved for last this year, question mark. And then at 5:30 Eastern, BYU football, top 100 plays. All kinds of goodness coming up tomorrow on BYU TV and the BYU TV app. And Gregor Bell will have a special 2-hour Behind the Mic from 2 to 4 Eastern on BYU Radio as well.
Jerem, why wait for greatness till tomorrow?
Why wait? Like just the letter Y?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
this is
thinking?
why wait? Let's do something great today.
I'm telling you why, said James, the member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day
Yes,
Saints.
we've got a fantastic show lineup. But before that, we do need to point out to Jerem, you were wearing one of the beautiful new BYU patriotic T-shirts currently available at the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
It's the rare instance that you can wear red on a BYU shirt
only
and
time.
it's tolerable because it's for USA.
Yep.
So, yeah, go get those at the BYU Store, in person, online, whatever.
I went to a country music concert on Saturday night. Garth
You can
Brooks.
say who it was. It was
Okay.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines, nice pull.
I feel like I'm the
Chris
only
Gaines
one
experiment did not pay off.
I'm the only one who didn't go to this concert, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so the Garth Brooks concert, and I thought, well, I don't really have any cowboy clothes or cowboy hat.
Did you?
So I was like, what do I do? I'm just gonna wear the most patriotic thing I can think of, you know? So I whipped out my Team USA authentic basketball jersey and just went like all USA out because I was like, country music.
No garbs under the straight jersey?
America. No, thankfully, I didn't go that far. But that's what I thought of when I saw you in that T-shirt today. I was like, oh, yeah, if I had that T-shirt, I could have worn that to the
would've worn
concert
this?
and accomplished the same thing.
My brother-in-law went full cowboy hat, full jeans, boots. He's not that guy. He just like became that guy. Yeah, which is awesome.
Hey, the original cowboy of BYU's passing attack
Nice.
in a lot of ways. Jim McMahon is on the show today. That leads off our show lineup preview.
Jimmy Mack's on the program?
Jim McMahon on the show. I
Yeah.
told you wouldn't have to wait until Media Day for greatness. Let's go ahead and just kick off the fun day early.
Jimmy Mack.
Yes, one of the greatest to ever do it.
The
at
greatest
BYU.
quarterback, in my opinion.
If
here.
not the greatest.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of great, we're going to discuss the greatest season of BYU Football Independence. Which year would you give it to? We don't agree.
differ.
We don't agree on this
one.
Shocker. Okay. We do not agree. And also, better yet, what would it take in the final year of independence to make 2022 the greatest season of BYU's independence era?
Might happen. I think it might happen.
That in mind, bring on today's BYU Sports Nation headlines.
ESPN President Jimmy Pitero told Richard Deitch on the Sports Media podcast that he plans on Texas and Oklahoma being in the Big 12 until 2025. That means 2 full years with BYU. If that's the case, the league will be 14 teams as of now.
For 2 more years? Yes, just give BYU the opportunity to play both Texas and Oklahoma in the league. If they're in for 2 years, that's going to happen.
In Provo.
I don't know about that, but I would love that.
In Provo.
I would love it. Hey, Pro Football Focus releasing their top NFL offensive play callers. BYU alum, former offensive tackle, Andy Reid, heard of him. Not surprisingly, the #1 ranked offensive play caller in the NFL, according to PFF. Currently with the Chiefs. Shout out to Jason Shepard with that in mind. And Boise State's Kellen Moore.
Why do we mention him? Because he's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Indeed he is.
And no matter what he wants to do with that, he is a coaching candidate in the future.
He's the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, has been in that position since 2019.
Men's basketball will open the season Monday, November 7th, hosting Idaho State, according to the Bengals' schedule release. Cougars 34-6 all-time versus ISU. Former BYU big man Colby Lee transferred to Idaho State in the offseason, so he will make his return. We now know 11 of the 13 non-conference games through reports or releases.
Courtney Wayment has accomplished a lot, and not surprisingly, everybody in the nation in that sport has taken notice. She is a Bowerman Trophy semifinalist, one of 10 semifinalists for the award. It's presented to the most outstanding male and female NCAA track and field athletes. The finalists will be announced on June 27th. Of course, Courtney won the steeplechase at the NCAA championships. Collegiate record of 9:16. And by the way, when she came on the show, we clarified something because we said, oh, she beat the next closest competitor by 9 seconds. It was also the NCAA record that she beat by 9 seconds. So double whammy there. So the next closest competitor was running a fantastic pace.
But not good enough.
Not good enough to beat Courtney or the record. Man. All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
You're talking about it, and so are we. It's What's Trending on BYU Sports Nation.
What's Trending, presented by Tim Daly Nissan, part of the Tim Daly Auto Group, serving Utah since 1968. BYU football seeking greatness in its independence finale. As we alluded to just a moment ago, today we will discuss what BYU needs to do to make it the greatest season of independence. Jarom, you're the first to answer it, at least in this public forum.
Hold on, there's a fly.
Oh, okay.
I think I can get it.
There's a fly swatter in here. We'll get it later.
Where is it? It's right in front of me.
Focus, Jarom.
It was sitting there.
Focus, Jarom.
I can get it. Got it. Got it.
Okay, now that you...
Oh, so distracting.
That's not distracting you.
I took a shower today.
Okay. What does BYU football have to do?
Dead.
You're like a 4-year-old. I love it.
I don't want to buzzing around distracting people from my amazing opinion here.
What does BYU football have to do in its last season of independence to make it the greatest?
There's the dead fly. Viewer discretion advised, okay? Viewer discretion advised. That's the first of its kind on this program. Okay, first off, I have to tell you what year I think is the best so that you understand how it can be topped.
Okay.
Okay? The best year was last year. 2021. Let me tell you why.
That lost to UAB in the bowl game?
Tell me why. No, that went 6-1 versus Power 5s and finished top 25.
And had 3
first
losses?
since 09. The first season since 09. We're all the...
No.
Sorry, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2020, strength of schedule was too awesome in 21 in terms of Power 5s. You beat a Power 5 champ. You ended the 9-year streak against Utah. You had 3 wins versus teams with 8+ wins. By the way, BYU in 2020 beat 0 teams that were 4 games plus above 500 in 2020, right? Not everyone even played the same amount of games. Those Tyler Allgeier's record-breaking season, it was incredible. I think last year was the best year. I get the argument for 2020 as well. I just think 21. I value the strength of schedule and ending the streak versus Utah and Power 5s and da-da-da. So to surpass that, in my mind, 11-2 would do it. Because I think you have a stronger group of Power 5 teams on this. You're not just beating up on the lowly Pac-12 like last year. I kid. But we had some fun with that. But, like, if you can pull off a couple wins that include, like, if BYU goes 11-2, that means you beat Notre Dame or Arkansas or Baylor or Oregon. Like, you won 2 of those, which is notable. I think that happens, right? I'm excited. 10-3 probably wouldn't do it because you don't have the Utah win sitting there. Utah's not on the schedule. They would rather play Florida. So the Utah win really, really did it for me last year. But, yeah, if BYU pulls off 11-2 with these 5 Power 5s, and you get at least 3 of those, and you avoid some G5 losses, which BYU did not last year. They had more G5 losses than Power 5 losses. That could do it.
So this is interesting because 10-3. So 10-3 with a more difficult schedule.
Probably no.
Would not beat last year's 10-3?
Well,
I'm not comprehending this.
Is BYU ending a 9-game streak against Utah? And will they beat a Power 5 champ? Like, that was a big win against Utah. Also, BYU beat...
If you go 10-3 and you're playing 4 teams that are probably going to be ranked above you when the season starts, there's a good chance that to go 10-3, you probably have to beat a conference champ.
Arkansas ain't winning the SEC. Notre Dame doesn't play in a league.
Is Oregon going to win the Pac-12?
Oregon, maybe. Baylor's not going to win the Big 12. Like, I don't think you have a Power 5 champ there. Stanford ain't doing it. Yep. Okay, so here's the thing for me. BYU lost to 2 Group of 5 teams. They lost to a mediocre Boise State team at home. Okay, that is good, as amazing as the wins were. That's a tarnished
part of the record. And then you lost the bowl game to UAB. That probably is the ultimate sway for me. It's like, I cannot say that 2021 was the best in independence because you lost to UAB in the bowl game and you have 3 losses compared to only 1 loss in 2020. And I know
you're arguing the worst loss. I argued the best win. What's the best win of 2020?
At Boise State. BYU had never done it, and they crushed them.
Boise State was 5-2.
5-2. What's wrong with 5-2? What's wrong with 5-2? They only played 7, but they still had the winning percentage.
You didn't play anybody.
Okay, so the win at Boise State doesn't mean anything.
You played one team that won 7
BYU
or more.
You beat BYU one team to a worse Boise State team at home in 2021 than the team they beat at Boise State in 2020. There's no argument about that.
Yeah,
straight up.
We'll never know how good 2020 really was because they did an awesome job of playing the schedule they had to play.
They crushed
21
UCF.
Played an actual tough schedule and was awesome. Yes, they failed in a couple of moments, but BYU's not going 12-1 in the modern era, against a real schedule. It's just too hard. You're going to lose a couple of games, and I would rather have lost those games. Would you rather have lost to Boise State or Arizona State? I'd rather have the good win than the okay loss. Because losing to Boise State is an acceptable loss.
Oh, we all
UAB's not.
Exactly, it's not, and that to me is that's what swings it. It's not.
So yeah, I value the great win. You value the poor loss in the conversation.
Well, wait. What do you mean? I value the poor loss?
You're arguing against it with the loss. I'm arguing for it with the better wins.
Yes, I put more. More credence into it.
Yeah.
I put more credence into the fact that BYU kind of tailed off there and they lost to UAB. Now, if BYU had beaten UAB and finished with 11 wins and 2 losses, without a doubt, 2021 is the greatest. 10-3 and 11-1. Also, it produced 5 draft picks in 2020, and Zach Wilson was the quarterback. That factors into how I weighed it as what I value.
Sure. Three were at the very end, which was awesome, but 2 were amazing, and then the other 3 were consolation.
4 of them have stuck of the 5. Yeah, I mean Kyrus and Dax.
I'm just talking about where they were drafted.
Okay, 5 draft picks, tied a BYU record. Zach Wilson, highest draft pick ever, 11-1. I mean, BYU they felt so good about the team, they were willing to drive 2,300 miles to Coastal Carolina on 3 days' notice.
Yeah. It didn't work out, unfortunately.
Man. Yeah. Okay, well, you tell us. You've heard our arguments. I think it's 2020. Jarom thinks it's 2021, the greatest to this point. But to do it and be even better, for me, it's 11 wins this season.
Yeah, you got to go 11-2.
You probably got to go 11-2.
And if it's 10-3 and you beat Notre Dame, I just don't.
Maybe that's better.
I just value the win over Utah a ton, and I just think BYU's not going to be able to surpass that this year unless they beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame only has 1 loss or something. That's the only way to me that really sticks out more than Utah. Trust me, that Utah win is incredible. Not only because of the streak, but because they won their league.
Which season has been the greatest season of BYU's independence era? That is our question of the day. We want to hear from you in Voice of the Nation.
This is the Voice of the Nation on BYU Sports Nation.
Brian Buss answers on Twitter. 2021 was the greatest year of independence as justified by 4 events. 1, the Big 12 invite.
Oh, I guess you could throw that in there, right?
What in the world? That's all tied to that season? Come on, it's long. It's bigger than that.
I think it's tied to that weekend.
Okay. Beating Utah.
Tell me what happened in 2020 that was better than that weekend. Nothing. Not even close. That might have been the greatest weekend in BYU history, period.
Greatest weekend maybe ever in the history of BYU sports. We're talking overall seasons. But he says beating Utah, ending the worst losing streak to the Utes in the modern era. Going 6-1 against Power 5s, 5. He said 4-0, but it's 5-0 against the Pac-12, winning the Pac-12 South de facto. Yeah, we all love that.
He didn't say de facto.
I'm adding de facto.
No, it was literally the Pac-12 South champion, and they allowed.
Oh my goodness.
Someone else to go.
Hashtag BYUSN, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Coming up, Missionaries were at a College World Series game yesterday. Is this safety zone approved content?
As long as they use situational awareness.
End of day.
A BYU legend, Jim McMahon, joins us in Studio B. He's never been to Studio B.
Oh, nice.
First time he's been here. He's going to rehash a lot of fantastic stories. Do not go anywhere. This is BYU Sports Nation.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by the Tim Daly Auto Group, serving Utah since 1968.
Professor Rock here.
The Food Nanny.
Chandler Scott here.
Samry.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
I just want to tell you about this amazing,
Excellent.
Cool account called My Style.
My Style checking. I'm talking travel points.
Gift card. Concert tickets.
All just for using my account.
That's My Style.
So check it out.
Give it a shot.
Open your My Style checking account today.
Accidents don't just happen 9 to 5. They happen when you least expect them. The team at Siegfried & Jensen is here for you 24/7. Nights, weekends, every day, every hour. Really here for you. No matter when you call us, you'll speak to a real person and have access to the same expertise and personal attention as always, and get the legal help you need when you need it. Nights, weekends, every day, every hour, 24/7. Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
This is your guys' song. You deserve.
Our goal, 50,000 books in the hands of children.
Okay, and I can help. Why do you do this? What do you get out of this?
It needs hope, and you need to show that little bit of love.
When you lay down your head. People come here one way, and they change while they're here. It was so great to be a part of it.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Join us tomorrow for a 2-hour special of BYU Sports Nation. BYU Football Media Day. We'll have Tom Hommel, Kalani Sitake, Jaron Hall, many others. 2-hour dish, noon Eastern tomorrow on BYU TV and BYU Radio.
We are live in Studio B with your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play on Media Day Eve. I am Spencer Linton alongside Jarom Jordan. Earlier this morning, we had the very distinct pleasure, for the first time ever, having the great Jim McMahon in Studio B. Amazing conversation. We asked him about everything from the Miracle Bowl to the Roy High School quarterback pipeline returning to BYU. Here is our conversation with the great Jim McMahon. Jim, it's great to have you for the first time in Studio B on BYU Sports Nation, back in part with BYU Football Media Day and in Provo, Utah. It's so great to see you.
Well, it's good to be back in town. It's definitely the first time I've been in the studio.
Welcome, man.
So it's good to be here.
Listen, Steve Young has been claiming that he's the greatest guest to ever be in Studio B, but now you've usurped him. Yeah, it's being challenged.
Steve's a Hall of Famer, so he can do that.
You also need to be complimented because we're social media guys, for stepping up your Twitter game. This is a venture that you've taken on recently, and you've really grown your following.
Well, it's not because of me. I mean, I don't. I look at it once in a while, but I've got people handling that for me. I don't. I'm not an everyday guy on that thing, so I still don't understand it.
We hope to be in a position one day where we can have someone handling our Twitter.
Yeah, one day. We barely understand it too, Jim. It's all good. Obviously, you're in a boot here. How you doing physically right now?
Well, I was doing great until 7 months ago. I just had a routine surgery to remove some bone spurs and a little bone off my ankle, and 3 days later I woke up burning and bleeding, and I was infected. I had to go back in the hospital for 8 days, 2 more surgeries, and they thought about cutting my foot off. So at least I'm glad there's a boot on there and there's a foot. So it's been 7 months on crutches and still not walking, but at least I have a foot.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely great perspective, and we hope to see you back on the golf course and up and about very, very soon.
Me too.
Yeah, you got to get back out there and beat some guys in the game that you're playing after football, right?
Well, I'm hoping to be playing in Tahoe in 3 weeks. That's my goal, and you can't use carts there, so it's going to be a struggle getting to my ball. But if I have to crawl, I'm going. This will be my 33rd year in a row. It's only been myself and Jack Wagner been to every one. So I can't let an actor outdo me.
It's a good streak.
I gotta show up.
It's a good streak, man. Yeah.
Now, as we mentioned, it's a special occasion to have you back in Provo. For you, what's it like now to know that when you walk into LaVell Edwards Stadium, your name's up there, it's retired, the number 9 is there? What does that mean to you?
Well, I had some great years here. I had a lot of fun with my teammates and coaches, and we had a lot of success. And to see my name finally up there is, I didn't think it'd ever happen because I didn't think I'd ever graduate. But I finally, took those last 5 classes and got it done. I think 6, 7 years ago, something like that.
Yep.
And, it was a big burden off my shoulders, and I had promised LaVell and my folks that I'd get it done, and I was glad to do it before we ended up losing them. So. It's nice to be up there.
Where'd you get that suit you wore at graduation that year? That was the most outlandish, amazing suit of the jacket. Yeah,
it's just a jacket from a company that just sends me stuff.
I need to get my hands on that thing. That was incredible, man.
Yeah, those I like color.
Yeah, I've never asked you.
Black and white's not real,
Yeah,
it's too bland for me.
Yeah, we've never asked you about this, but in 2014, in the game where at halftime you are, honored. Taysom Hill breaks his leg in the first half, and there's kind of this weird vibe in the stadium, but we were all so excited to have you there. What was that like for you? Because obviously it's this huge moment for you. But it was also a weird vibe in the stadium because Taysom gets hurt right there.
And I think we ended up losing that night, too. I think it was to Utah State, if I'm
You were the one
correct.
win that night.
And I think the last time they had lost to Utah State was when I was playing here. So it was kind of a bittersweet night. But it brought back some memories, but it was nice. It was a nice night.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
Now, Jarom and I were talking this morning about everything that you did at such a high level at BYU, including at one point punting the ball. So
Some people forget this.
Yeah, were you an underrated punter?
Well, my average wasn't all that good. I think it was like 39 yards or something. But we didn't really have to punt a whole lot back then. My freshman year, we had Gifford Nielsen, All-American QB, and Mark Wilson was after him. So we didn't punt a whole lot. I probably maybe 20 times. I don't even remember my stats, but I was just happy to make the varsity, in some capacity. And so, Gifford got hurt, I think the 4th game of that year, so all of a sudden I'm the backup. But again, I was still punting, and I got in a couple games my freshman year, but nothing spectacular.
Didn't you punt left-footed one time? Did that happen?
That happened over in Hawaii, yeah. Yeah, it was a game I wasn't supposed to play. I kept saying, my arm was hurting, which it was. I ended up throwing like 60-some balls that night, even though I wasn't supposed to play. But yeah, the center hiked it over my head, and when I chased it down, I happened to just turn to my left, or to my right, actually. So I'm running towards our sideline, and the guy chasing me, if I would have tried to kick it, you can't stop and kick it. The guy would have blocked the punt, so I just kept running. And, I'd kicked a few things around with my left feet before, so to me it wasn't that big a deal. I was just trying to get, just get it anywhere that way, right? And it ended up down on the 1-yard line. That's a pretty good punt.
That's one of my I hadn't heard it from you, but I'd heard the Jim McMahon left-footed punt story, which is awesome. Why was your arm hurting? Just too much Frisbee on the beach the day before?
No, it was, I had had shoulder problems ever since high school. I had it dislocated originally in high school, and just over the years, all the throwing and using your arm, it just wore it down, and until eventually, in the pros, it finally got it fixed. But I played quite a few years with a bad shoulder.
Did you play 80 and 81 with a bad shoulder then? You just muscled through it?
Yeah, it's been bad for a long time.
You broke all of those NCAA records with a bad shoulder.
Well, I mean, I didn't feel a whole lot. Amazing what painkillers do. That and adrenaline. You get out there on game day, you forget a lot of pain. So I didn't think about it once I was out there.
Are you saying with 2 good eyes and 2 good shoulders, you could have broken even more records?
Been okay.
Yeah. You might have been all right. Yeah. Ty couldn't have reached some of those records. Yeah.
Well, I think Ty broke them all anyway.
Yeah.
The humble Jim McMahon with us on BYU Sports
seriously,
Station.
I think about it. Yeah, the eye on the shoulder, crazy.
Everything, all the records that you broke and everything that you accomplished, what means the most to you? What that you accomplished at BYU? What's the feat that you accomplished at BYU that means the most to you?
Winning the first bowl game for Coach Edwards, first and second. That was they'd been, I don't know how many bowl games before that. We'd been to a couple of holiday bowls before that. Didn't get it done. So winning that first one, that was something I'll always remember.
And the iconic, of course, you know, it kind of starts with you guys are going to punt, and you, in no uncertain terms, come over to the sideline and say, "We're not punting," in friendly BYU TV verse there. What do you remember from that sequence of the competitor? Perhaps the most competitive moment for you comes out where it's like, no, I refuse to give up right here.
Well, like I said, you know, we hadn't won a bowl game yet, and why? You know, had we punted then, the game is over.
Why not?
Why not? I'm not going to go out laying down like that, you know. And so, like you said, I came and Lavelle and I had a little quaint discussion. And thank God he let me go back in the game because I didn't want to come off the field. The guy, you know, I said huddle up on 4th down, and everybody's, here comes the punting team. I said, well, the hell with the punting team. We're not punting.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had to burn one of our timeouts that we would have needed later, but yeah, it was. It worked out pretty good.
Yeah, you got the first down. A couple plays later, you get a touchdown, get the ball back quickly, score another touchdown. When Bill Shepard blocks that punt, what's going through your mind?
Well, we had, I think there was about 18 seconds left when he did that. And so I knew we had at least 3 plays in us, you know, time for 3 plays. And I just said, you know, we got back in the huddle. I said, look, we come too far now. Let's win this game, you know. And I remember, I think it was the first pass that I threw it was to Clay Brown across the middle. And it was probably the worst pass I'd thrown all year long, and thank God, because the cornerback on the offside had let his man go and was about, if I'd have led Clay with the ball, it probably would have been picked off, game over. But I threw a terrible pass behind him, and he didn't catch the one with the one hand like he did in the first half. He let it go. The next one, I think I threw out of bounds down the sidelines, and then, you know, the 3 seconds left, you know, you got one play. And it's a play we practiced every week, you know, you just hope you never have to use it. And it worked out to perfection. I mean, first guy down is supposed to tip it if he can't catch it. And the ball came right down to Clay. I mean, it was just like there was 3 or 4 SMU guys around him, and not one of those guys touched the ball. And I ended up playing with 2 of those defensive backs from SMU. Wes Hopkins was one. He was a safety. I played with him in Philadelphia. And Reggie Phillips. Reggie Phillips was the other DB. Played with him in Chicago. And that conversation came up a lot. Yeah, I said, hey, how did you guys miss the ball? I mean, it was 3 of you guys there. None of you touched it but Clay. It was just one of those things. I mean, it was somebody was looking out for us, that's for sure.
It's a sore spot for Eric Dickerson, too.
Oh, Eric and I'll probably see him up in Tahoe in a few weeks, and you guys stole that game. That's all I ever hear from those guys.
There's a moment, and I think you've told it, but I'd love to hear it from you, where with Vaisa Kahema, where you recreate this moment in a practice in the NFL or something. Do you recall this?
Briefly. We were all in Philadelphia together. And
one of the DBs from SMU is talking trash.
After, well, Wes was one of the DBs.
Yep.
And so I think we reenacted it. I can't remember what happened.
Pulled his pants down or something and caught on a bye or something. Yeah.
That sounds like Byu.
Elder Kahema now.
Yes, right? He's a big wig now.
He's big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim McMahon on BYU Sports Nation. Obviously, BYU moving into a new stratosphere as a Power 5 team in the summer of 2023, so we're about a year away from that. When you heard that BYU was invited to the Big 12, knowing where this program was when Lavelle took over, and you in the early years with Lavelle, and now seeing what it's become, what did that mean to you? What did you feel when you found out they were going to the Big 12?
Well, I think Tommy Homo's done a heck of a job here as the AD, and you know, he's been trying to, you know, get national recognition, although they've had it for years. It seems like only the quarterbacks kind of get the recognition, but they've had a good program here for a long time. And I think, you know, as he keeps moving up toward different leagues, that people will find out, hey, this is a pretty good program they got here. You know, they not just throw the ball, but they've got some good athletes here.
Did Tom ever pick you off in practice?
I can't remember. Yeah. That was 40-something years ago, dude. I'm having trouble with yesterday.
No, it's all good.
All good.
But speaking of Tom interceptions, he did have one in the 1981 bowl game win over Washington State. So we'll give him some
he can play, man.
Yeah, he could play.
He can play.
A white guy playing DB in the NFL?
Yeah.
You got to be able to play.
Daniel Sorensen and Tom Holland. Yeah, there you go. Zane Anderson. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about Zach Wilson. It took a long time for a quarterback to be drafted higher than you. Zach Wilson at 2. What do you think of what he did at BYU and what he could do in the NFL, hopefully?
Well, I didn't get to see him play much when he was here. I talked to Tom about him, and I respect Tom's opinion. He said, hey, this kid can play. And so I'm sure he's going to be, have a successful career as long as he stays healthy. And, the bad thing about getting drafted that high is usually the team sucks. And so he's going to have to deal with some rough years, as I did in Chicago. First 3 years were not real fun, but after that it was good. But he'll probably have the same success there.
Yeah, what changed for you after those first 3 years? What was it that took you and the Chicago Bears to the next level after some struggles?
Offensive linemen. Finally got some guys that could, we drafted Jimbo Covert in '83. He just went in the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. Keith Van Horn was our right tackle. He'd been there a year or two when I got there. And then we moved a defensive lineman over to guard, Mark Bortz from Iowa. And I think that made a big difference for our offensive line. And once we shored up that, I mean, it was, Walter Payton, he played, I think, 6 years before I got there with the offensive line that he had. I don't know how he survived. My rookie year, I'd hand him the ball, and he'd make a 30-yard run that only gained 1 or 2. Oh. He'd go from sideline to sideline, bouncing off people. He just didn't like to be tackled. But it was, once that line got shored up and they started gelling, it was tough to beat us. Because defensively, we were pretty good.
The hope now is that BYU can continue to do what it's been doing the last couple of years and what you guys did in the NFL, which is like almost every game there's a BYU guy, it feels like, on somebody's team having an influence. What was it like when you played to know, hey, I'm gonna see a lot of my BYU guys here representing either on my team with Vi and the Eagles or across the field?
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of them back then. I got to see Glenn Tittenser. He was our defensive end. He ended up playing offensive line for Dallas. So I'd see him a couple times a year. Vi I got to play with again, so in Philadelphia, so it was fun. Who else? Mark Wilson I'd see once in a while when we played Steve, of course. I think I might have been done with, Ty was there when I came in there. I was about to leave the league when Ty came in, so. Yeah, it's always fun to see your old teammates and, rehash some fun times.
Yeah. How do you feel like the game of football, just in general, has changed the most since you were playing in the NFL to where it is now?
Oh, just the rule changes. I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous what the quarterbacks can get away with now. It's
after what you had to go through.
Yeah,
namely?
I mean, they could still take 2 or 3 steps and hit you in the head back then, but now they can't hit you low, you can't hit you high. I mean, it's pretty nice when you can step into every throw and not take your knees out, but that's just the way the game is now. It's like 7-on-7 pretty much with linemen. So it would have been nice to play in today's game because everybody's throwing it around. When I came out, I got to throw it how many times a game here, and then I go to Chicago, and it took me 3 or 4 games to throw it that many times that I threw it in 1 game here. So it was very boring, but you got to do what you got to do.
What do you still to this day think back on and really cherish from your time at BYU?
Just how much fun we had. My teammates. I just lost a really close friend this past year, Danny Plater, later Pluto, the infamous Pluto. Andy Reid and I still are in contact. It's just nice to just hang out and just remember the old days where BYU wasn't such a big name. We were just kind of helping them out along the way, and they've come a long way since then.
I'm happy to report that we're working on the Roy High School to BYU quarterback pipeline again. We're working on that. We've got someone in the works that's coming from Roy High School, a quarterback from Roy.
Parker Kingston, who's going to be a slot receiver,
Okay.
Yeah. He played quarterback at Roy, but they've got him slated.
He's too good of an athlete. They just had to
he's
put
the
him
100-meter champ in the state of Utah as well.
Wow.
So
my old teammate is the head coach up there, Freddie Fernandez.
Freddie.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Freddie was the sophomore my senior year there, so he's done a great job.
Fred's my guy. He was my high school football coach at Northridge. Yeah, so he's legendary, man.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Well, Jim, it's great to have you again. We appreciate all you do for us to promote BYU and promote the game. It's just great to have you back on campus for Media Day and a few other activities.
Yeah, it's great to be here and look forward to coming back.
All right. We give up BYU Sports Nation Carmen to our favorite people, and typically good things happen when we do that. So we're going to give it to you for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, so you can play in Tahoe.
I don't care how good I play. I just want to be able to walk to my ball.
Love that.
Good luck.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. Thanks, Jim.
All right. Thank you.
Jim McMahon, for the first time ever, the BYU legend, in Studio B.
He's in town with NFL Films shooting something with Ty Detmer, which is pretty cool, and part of Media Day. So I do want to give Jim a hard time, though, because I asked him, did Tom Hommel ever pick you off? He's naming names and situations from the Miracle Bowl and in the NFL. I bet Tom picked him off a couple times, and he conveniently forgot.
Listen, it's like the movie Inside Out. Like, some of those memories just get pushed back, and they go away to die forever.
I know, I'm just kidding. But there was some real specificity there sometimes that's just incredible. The recall of, this safety moved off of Clay Brown, and luckily I underthrew him and whatever. It's like, that's gold, Jerry. That's gold, man. That's awesome.
You have to have a short memory when you're quarterback after big mistakes, right?
Right. You have a long memory on the success.
Exactly.
The short memory.
Exactly right.
The interceptions. Okay, coming up, Morgan Bailey. She's back from the new women's hoop staff. She joins us.
West Coast Conference Player of the Year 2015. And is Oklahoma State a legitimate candidate for BYU's Big 12 rival?
Do we have to have one? That's a thing?
You decide. This is BYU Sports Nation.
Like me, not the league?
Okay, man. You got this. It's not that bad. Okay, it's a little bad. Just do it. Woo! That was unbelievable.
Some things seem scarier than they really are, like buying a home. But your loan officer at Intercap Lending will help you get pre-approved and walk you through every step of the process. Intercap Lending, a name you can trust since 1978.
I'm okay.
Hi, Spencer Linton here, letting you know when your company joins the BYU team as a corporate partner, your brand can be featured in sports programming on BYU TV and BYU Radio. In addition to all of the great games, you can be part of the BYU coaches shows, place your message in Countdown to Kickoff, basketball pre- and post-game shows, and each weekday on BYU Sports Nation. We invite your team to join ours and become a corporate sponsor of BYU Athletics. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
Trio Orem Senior Living believes in empowering seniors to live life to the fullest. We help eliminate stress out of daily life when you live at Trio. Less time focusing on housework means you can socialize at one of our many events, with safety in mind, of course. And did we mention our spacious apartments with modern amenities? Learn more about setting up a private tour at trioorem.com.
Turn TV time into together time with the BYU TV app. Watch all your favorite shows when, where, and how you want.
This isn't like a practical joke, is it?
No, sir. Immerse yourself in stories with all the feels. Go on uninterrupted journeys of discovery and see families coming together while watching with your own. See new and original content, all for free on the BYU TV app.
BYU Sports Nation is brought to you by Maersk, enabling global trade for a growing world.
Interact with the show. Follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
He is Jarom Jordan. I am Spencer Linton. Let's whip it. The Cougar Whip Around, presented by Maersk, your integrated container logistics company, enabling global trade for a growing world.
ESPN President Jimmy Patero says Texas and OU will be in the Big 12 until 2025, 2 years with them in the league. Why is this coming from ESPN again?
Well, ESPN is the mothership and the worldwide leader. So, I don't know.
Why does it come from Texas and Oklahoma?
Well, because ESPN is collaborating with Texas for the Longhorn Network, so maybe there's some conversations there about...
Because it's going away when they go to...
Exactly. So we're going to keep it through 2025, so you're telling us that you're going to be in the league for 2 more years? They have to like, communicate
Texas
that, right?
probably wants this. They get $15 million a year from now.
Yeah, because, again, Longhorn Network goes away when they go to the SEC.
Yeah.
So
no, it doesn't go away when BYU goes to the Big 12.
This is true.
Although I will keep my LinkedIn updated just in case.
You should do that always, just in
always
case.
And forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
BYU football did a night-themed promo shoot last night, Jarom. Is this just forward thinking and good preparation for all of those 8:15 p.m. kick times?
They're actually 21 and 26, so it's even later. But no, it just makes it so you can shine lights. If you do it in the daytime, you can't shine the light. No, this will be fun. These are always good. They'll be used in the stadium, social media. Fun stuff. And speaking of, at that shoot, we got a trio of players now known as the Mustache Gang. Question mark, BYU football put out. Houston Mooley, Mason Wake, Isaac Rex. Will this be the year of the mustache? And was it inspired by Top Gun Maverick?
It absolutely feels like it was inspired by Top Gun. And Rooster.
Rooster.
Yeah, Goose and Rooster.
I literally asked someone in church on Sunday, this young guy in our ward, I was like, what, did you have this before or after Top Gun Maverick? And he was like, before.
The only one that's really pulling off a mustache right now, by the way, based on that picture, is Houston.
Houston's got it.
Yeah, Houston can pull it off.
Isaac kind of. Mason, I love you. It's not doing it for me.
Yeah, the thin mustache.
I can't grow a good one, so I'm not one to talk. But yeah, I've had a mustache on the show. In fact, how many years ago was it? I said I wouldn't shave it until the men's basketball team lost, and they won like 8 in a row.
Yes.
So it was like a month.
Jared, it says, will this...
I actually want BYU to lose now.
We asked, will this be the year of the mustache? Like, every year is the year of the mustache at BYU, because that's the only facial hair you can typically grow.
True, but mustaches are weird unless you can really pull it off, okay?
Top Gun.
And not everyone can.
Top Gun making mustaches great again.
Stuff. You wear a hat?
Saturday Touchdowns. This is an account on Twitter. Presented this graphic of proposed new Big 12 rivals. They have BYU and Oklahoma State in a rivalry. Okay? Do you see BYU Oklahoma State as the rivalry for the Cougars in the Big 12?
I don't think BYU is going to have a primary rival. I think that will always be Utah. And I don't know that we can force a Utah-Colorado situation like the Pac-12 did.
Well, you can try and force it, but it doesn't work.
There's not just, like, what is it in the WCC? St. Mary's. That's a competitive rival. They've done a few things that have ticked us off. We've done a few things that tick them off. You need some of those, like, angry moments.
Sure.
And lose a close game, win a close game. To summon that.
The only one that resonates there is BYU's history with TCU, because they have had some angry moments and some controversial finishes and history in the Mountain West. So for me, the answer is TCU.
It's just been so long, it's like very dormant.
Well, for the fans, not so much, right?
No one, it's been for us because we're late 30s, early 40s.
Like because
it was like 15 years ago.
John Beck about that
time.
51-50 loss at home to TCU.
No, 17 years ago. It was a long time ago. During ESPN's College World Series broadcast yesterday, some missionaries were seen in the stands. Is this a safety zone approved activity?
Yes, they're using situational awareness, understanding their environment, and enjoying the most popular thing that exists in Omaha, Nebraska, other than Nebraska football, and that is the College World Series.
I love it. It's awesome. Get them out there. I didn't really do anything fun on preparation days for my mission, other than when we saw the Anti-Venom Museum in Sao Paulo. I saw some of the biggest snakes I've ever seen in my life. That was awesome. Jackson Clough, AA guy, former BYU Cougar, tweeted, it's actually 6.
Yep.
Don't short us those precious 2 hours, please. Because NCAA Baseball said, when you've got a ball game at 1, but a commitment at 4.
Yeah, no, the commitment's not at 4 on Monday, okay? The commitments typically start at 6.
Can we give missionaries a full day? Can we do that? Why is it cut off at 6? Can we go a whole day?
Jarom, you're
volunteering like 80 hours
guy.
a week.
You're the obedience guy.
You can challenge the status quo. Coming up, the top 5 seasons of BYU Football Independent.
And BYU women's basketball assistant coach Morgan Bailey. She's back. Joins us in studio. This is BYU Sports Nation. Big things ahead for Morgan.
Blue goggles.
I know what it's like to be overlooked, to be doubted, to fly under the radar. I only had one offer coming out of high school, but I was ready for every moment, every opportunity, and every shot that I got. Now I'm playing professional basketball, aiming to be one of the best shooters on the planet. And I'm just getting started. Be ready for your moment with Rapid Reboot, the future of rapid recovery.
This is where we dominate. Our playground, place of business. This is our promised land, where we seek to find ourselves. And we're here to make sure the spaces our best prove themselves on appear how they should. Intermountain Healthcare, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
There's nothing quite like doing a live sketch.
Having the audience like nearby is really, really neat.
To just be able to connect with them and hopefully make their day better.
When you are doing a sketch and you hear your first laugh, it's just like, here we go, let's go for it.
I mean, one of the most rewarding things is having people saying, like, I struggle with this or this, and you guys are able to make me laugh at it and realize, like, I'm not the only person going through those things.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
BYU Football Media Days tomorrow starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. State of the program, live a dish, followed by a 2-hour BYU Sports Nation. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Utah versus BYU last year.
Yes.
Ending the streak. Web chat to Chase Shepard on the BYU TV app. 4:30 Eastern, BYU, A History of Independence. And then at 5:30, BYU Football Top 100 Plays. These shows at 11, 12, 2, 4:30, all live on BYU TV and the app.
Let's go. Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation, live from Studio B. Joining us now, our second guest, the fabulous Morgan Bailey.
She's back, baby.
Former West Coast Conference Women's Basketball Player of the Year. Now she is coaching them up. Not just at Utah Valley, but she has transitioned back to BYU. Welcome home, Morgan.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's good to be back.
You've been so close, yet so far away. Good to have you back. What's it been like?
It's been a whirlwind, just trying to get the girls back into practice, getting in the flow of things. Change is like hard, but it's good. And so I think that we're all adjusting really well. So
when did this opportunity first cross your plate, and what was your reaction to it?
This opportunity, well, I was out. It's a funny story because I wasn't supposed to go out to South Carolina to recruit. And last second, things got changed where I was the one sent out. And that was the last tournament that Coach Whiting was going to be coaching at with her daughter. And so I just happened to walk in the gym. She was there when I shouldn't have been there. And we just kind of like nodded at each other. And then she called me later after the tournament, and it's history from there, and hopefully we're going to be making history as well.
Let's go.
I like it. So when she nodded at you, that's when you got the job? Is that how that worked?
That was the offer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That was the offer.
That was it. Yeah. That was the offer.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. Yes, I accept.
Are we going to do this?
You're like, making 10K more and I'm in. Let's go. What's this process like, too? Because we talked about this with Lee. You aren't just returning to BYU and figuring out what office you're trying to coach up the current team.
Mm-hmm.
And because of 2022 and the transfer portal, you're trying to re-recruit your own team. Yeah. What's this process like as you get to know each other, not only the staff, but the players as well?
Yeah, and I think that previous opportunities have prepared me for something like this, where I went into a new staff at SUU, and we had to build there. I came back to UVU to work with Dan and Kaylani and Ashley Garfield. And we had to build there. And so coming here with a whole new staff as well, I feel like we're still learning like each other's terminology, how we work, and where we fit together perfectly. But it's been fun. And I think that the transfer portal is crazy, but we're figuring it out together. And I think that we're all so different on staff, but we all complement each other as well. So.
What are the strengths that you will bring to this staff? We know you have many.
Yeah.
How do you see your unique skill set fitting into this staff?
Well, number one is I am a post player, and that's my specialty, is trying to build up these post players and, make them the best players that they can be. And so that right there, I think skill development with the post is what I do. And then, like I said, a builder. I do not back down from a challenge at all. And so I've been in programs where we had to build from scratch. And so here, luckily, it's not from scratch. We have a lot of talent that we can build upon. But just as we transition into this new staff, then into the Big 12, I'm very confident in myself and who I'm working with to do that.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't have a practice facility when you were a player.
No. So now I get to enjoy the annex. Yeah. They announced it right as I was like going overseas.
How
so
convenient.
I know. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too because you think back at the great BYU teams and you're like, you know what Ty Detmer didn't have? He didn't have the student athlete building. He didn't have the indoor practice facility. Still won the Heisman. BYU still won the Natty. Like these things are nice. They don't equal winning.
Yeah, you were the West Coast Conference Player of the Year, and you didn't have an annex.
But you got to keep up with the Joneses to some degree, and in recruiting, that's a big deal, right? And in development of the program. And it's nice to have an office that isn't in a basement in the Marriott Center.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, though, like when we were players, we had to fight for courts to shoot at. And at BYU, we know we're not allowed to wear cutoffs or jerseys in the RB or the Smith Fieldhouse.
You're fighting the, do you have a wristband?
Yeah, do you have a wristband?
Yeah.
If you don't have if you have a cutoff, put a t-shirt on. I was like, this has BYU on it. They gave this to me.
I'm on the team. Yeah, Tyler Haws and Kyle Collinsworth have stories, too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's just nice that the girls have 24-hour access to wherever to shoot.
100%.
One final year in the West Coast Conference before BYU makes the jump to the Big 12. You just said it. You're never going to back down from a challenge.
Right.
This is going to be a significant challenge, playing in the Big 12. It's a really good women's basketball conference. Yeah. What do you think of BYU's fit in the Big 12, and what has to change for you to feel like, okay, we're here and we belong?
Yeah. Number one, that was the reason why I made this change, because I want to go against the biggest and the best, and that's how I was as a player as well. But I think what needs to change, we're obviously going to bring in more girls to help us. I'm excited for the development of the girls we currently have as we transition. This season's going to be big for them to see them grow and learn as we go. And then I just think X's and O's wise, like we want to play fast. We still want to have a balanced game of having a post inside, guards who can shoot, people who can drive. And so I think we're just going to build on that, but just take it to the next level and a lot of skill development as well. When I used to play here, we were just playing up and down, but I think we're going to bring back the skill development.
If I was a big-time recruit looking at schools around the state, I would want to be here with what's going on.
Yeah.
I would.
It's fun.
I just would.
Part of this, right?
I just would. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Morgan Bailey on BYU Sports Nation. It is great to have you back on campus.
It's
good to see you. Yeah, welcome back.
So good to be back.
The first of many conversations that we'll have.
Yes.
Probably a lot that you'll have to deal with as we're doing preparation. But thanks for putting up with us in advance.
Thanks. Do you guys still do the song, the
Karma?
The Karma?
Oh,
yeah, do you want it? Do you want some?
I want it.
You can't hear it, but they're playing it. Yeah.
The Gregorian chant is playing in our ears.
Yes.
You are receiving BYU Sports Nation Karma.
And do you mind signing the flag during the break?
You're back. You got to sign the new flag.
Thank you. Awesome.
Let's go.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, coming up, are you today's Elite Voice of the Day?
And the top 5 seasons of independence. Ooh. Which is at the top of the list?
What did our staff put down as number 1?
This is BYU Sports Nation.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork offers a large inventory of Ford vehicles, including a selection of cars and trucks, providing a range of transportation choices. From the Ford Fusion sedan and the Edge crossover SUV to a range of pickups including the F-150. Each product line comes with options to enhance performance, comfort, and safety. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
To the White House staff.
We are the first family, and we were hoping that you could help us out.
You want me to babysit some Russian kid?
Someone is looking to hurt both of our families, TJ.
How is this even possible?
An American posing as a Russian.
Why should I be scared? You've got Max.
Paul Brandt is laying his guitar aside and picking up a hammer.
There actually are things that can be done to help people in situations like this.
This is our house for real.
I don't think you can ever dream too much.
As the receivers become the givers, they in turn help themselves. Watch Paul Brandt's Build It Forward on BYU TV or with the free app.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. It's time for Top 5 Tuesday, presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing the top 5 seasons of BYU football's independence era.
Number 5, 2015, 9-4 year, mega miracle at Nebraska. Another miracle against Boise State. 5-game win streak in the middle of the season. The loss to Utah in the Vegas Bowl was a tough finish, but BYU hired Kalani Sitake right after that game, essentially negating all negative feelings about that. So, yeah, it was awesome. The mega miracle, of course, was the highlight.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks.
Here it is, finally.
Mitch Matthews, is he going to catch it? Yes. At number 4, 2011. Oh, we're going to wait for this one too? Might as well. Okay, there we go. Number 4, 2011, the first year of independence, including a season-opening win at Ole Miss. Kyle Van Noy won this game. Last-second win over Utah State. Riley Nelson taking over. Fake spike touchdown to win the Armed Forces Bowl. The Red Alert play. Until recently, this was the only 10-win season of independence.
Yeah, it took a minute. They didn't play anybody that year, though. 2016, number 3, 9-4. Taysom Hill and Jamal Williams were back. Kalani Sitake and new staff. Only 4 losses by a combined 8 points. BYU beat Josh Allen and Wyoming in the Poinsettia Bowl that then went away after that.
Forever Poinsettia champs, baby. Number 2. Well, here is where the debate continues. At number 2, we have 2021.
I disagree.
BYU gets invited to the Big 12. They end the 9-game losing streak against Utah. They win 10 games, go 5-0 against Pac-12 competition, 6-1 against Power 5 schools, 10-3 overall.
And number 1, apparently, 2020.
Yep.
55-3 win over Navy on Monday Night Football to start things off. The only blemish at Coastal Carolina. Midweek game, of course. Zach Wilson, number 2 pick. Brady Christensen, first-team All-American left tackle, 11-1. A fantastic season. Chiefs played a Mason Wake. It was an awesome year.
Jarom, I'm so glad you got to witness the final game of the greatest season in independence in person in Boca Raton.
It was a fun day with like 5,000 fans there.
Our question of the day, which season was the greatest season of the BYU independence era? Our elite voice of the day presented by Sundance Mountain Resort from @BDN34. He agrees with you, Jarom. 2021. We beat Utah.
Utah won the Pac-12. Like, that was a great win.
It was.
For many reasons.
3 losses. 3 losses, though. Today's Rise and Shout-Out presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. Let's give it to Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon in studio today. That was awesome.
Get healthy, play golf in Tahoe. Keep the streak alive.
He might play regardless.
Our thanks to today's guests, yes, Jim McMahon and Morgan Bailey.
Already done it, no time.
For Jarom, I am Spencer. Shout out to Ashley Garfield. See you tomorrow for a 2-hour Media Day special. Will 2022 be the greatest season of independence? Go Cougs.
This is